Hi, welcome to the Coffee Hour, a show that involves you in verbal interaction. Sports with Brian Camp. So settle in with coffee in hand and enjoy the Coffee Hour. Now here's your host, Frank Allan.
Hey, do you know what day it is? Today is Friday. Thank God it's Friday. TGIF. Welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Coffee Hour. And we are here once again for another Friday morning here in New York City. That's where we originate. And we're going to be here for a whole full hour with you. We want you to stay along with us because there are so many things to talk about and so many things to do. And we want you right in on the action. And for those of you who are joining us, for the very first time, let me explain what happens. When I open this show each week at this time, what I do is get things rolling and make sure that the show stays in perfect order as we go along. In the meantime, while I'm doing all of that, you can at any time chime in conversation by using your keyboards. Take your fingers and swipe over them and deliver a message, and I'll see you right there on the big screen. You can do it on your computer, you can do it on your iPhone, and you can do it on your tablet as well. All of those devices that you have that has a screen and a keyboard, and you can pick us up on there, you can do, and you're welcome to do that. And those of you who have been with us for a long time, well, I don't have to tell you, I'm always grateful that you're with us. And those of you who are with us for the very first time, we ought to know that we come from three different places. We're broadcasting on three different places. We're on live Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and of course, any three of those would get you there. You can be anywhere you want around the world. And I said around the world because we are broadcasting around the world, nationwide, we're global. Anywhere you can go around the world, as long as you're in an area where there's a great hot spot and you have great Wi-Fi, you can pick us up. We're right there with you. So we want to say hello to each and every one of you out there, wherever you are, wherever you are viewing. Now, a lot of you may be at work at this particular time. And if that's the case, then of course, we invite you to stay with us. And if you happen to get that coffee break, that 15-minute coffee break, take that coffee break, get away from the water cooler, sit at your desk, enjoy your coffee for 15 minutes and watch the show at the same time. And when that coffee break is up, you don't have to go anywhere because you're right there at your desk and you could continue. You could start working and do what they call multitasking. Just as simple as that. And so thank you guys for being along with us. And if you're watching us for the very first time, especially you guys watching us on Facebook, take the time right now to tag all of your friends. They may be somewhere in the area. They could be online right now. And if they're online, if you tag them right now, they'll see that tag and they'll know it's coming from you. And all they have to do is just click onto it. And guess what? It automatically brings them right to us where we are. Just as simple as that. So while we're doing all of that, tag your friends, as many as you can or as many as you want. You know, I'm not asking you to tag like 1,000 that you have on your Facebook page, but every now and then and every week, you can add a few more onto the list. You can tag and bring them to us. And if they like what they see, if they like what they hear, of course, they'll come back again and again, just like you. And if you're watching us on YouTube, I always encourage you to go onto our YouTube page. You're right there right now. There, you got right there right now. Click onto our subscription button. Right? It says subscribe. So drag your mouse over there, point the arrow to where it says subscribe, and just click it. And that's all it takes. There's no money involved in it. It's absolutely free of charge, and you don't have to pay taxes as well. And the good thing about asking you to do that is that it gives you the opportunity to know whenever we come on live, or we are so much as post a photo or even a video, all right? You get instant notification right then. Now, a lot of you may be wandering around on the internet on a Friday morning or Friday or whatever time it is in your area, and you know that the show comes on, but you forgot all about it. That instant notification will pop right up, and all you have to do is click onto it, and it brings you right there to the channel, and that's all it takes. And so, you know, please do that. You know, click on right now, and it doesn't take that effort. It's not an effort. You don't have to lose anything. You don't have to miss anything. Just click right there, and of course, you'll be a full-fledged member. Now, for those of you who are watching us on Instagram, you don't have to do anything. The only thing I'm going to ask you to do, though, ladies and gentlemen, is to tell your friends right now And I believe that you can do the same thing, tag your friends. I think you can do that on Instagram. It's a different thing than Facebook, but I believe that you can do that. Give it a shot. Kind of like how it goes is that you would type my name in, right? You would type my name in and send it to them, and then they'll see it and they'll click on to it. And I think it brings them right there. It just shows them that, we're on the air. We would like you to do that, and just do that. It helps us out a lot. It really does. And especially if you're going to tag all of your friends and subscribe to my YouTube channel, it helps out a lot. Coming up this hour, we're going to do our regular thing too as well. We got sports coming up in just a few minutes from now. Brian Camp will be along in this particular half hour, as a matter of fact, and he has the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. We look forward to seeing him then, and he's going to be talking about a lot of things that's happening in sports. We already got over the Super Bowl, so maybe he wants to talk about that. We did talk about that last night, as a matter of fact, and a whole lot of other things, upcoming events in sports that are coming along. And if you have any questions or anything that's related to sports and you would like to ask Brian while he's on live, you can do that. All you have to do is just, as I said, type it in. Now, you'll get a chance to see him. You'll meet and see him, and he'll be right there on camera if you're watching us on Facebook and YouTube. However, you guys who are watching us on Instagram, you won't get a chance to see him because we don't have the luxury of bringing him on camera with us. But you can still hear his voice, and you could still, at the same time, if you like, type in whatever questions that you may have, and he'll see them. And whatever he doesn't see, I will see, and I will just toss it along to him, and he will answer the questions as well. Later, before the show is over, towards the end of the show, we like to do it towards the end of the show, we have our features of all of those movies. Now, we know the weekend is coming up, and that being said, it's going to be a long weekend. We got a long weekend coming up. It's President's Day weekend. And what I'm going to do is that I have my picks of the week, which I am going to convey to you later on movies to add to your bucket list of what to watch over the weekend. Now, a lot of you guys may be doing a lot of things, being that it's going to be a long weekend. And if you have the luxury of taking off on Monday, you can do a lot of things. You can go out and barbecue. And then again, if you just want to sit back, relax, and just figure out some of the movies you want to watch, well, I'm just going to add the few movies that I have for you to your bucket list on what's to watch. That's all coming up later on in the program, and we invite you to stay with us. And if you're going to chime in conversation, please do the courtesy, if you'd like. It's not necessary that you do so, but if you like, give us your weather forecast if you're anywhere around the world, or in another part of the world, or another part of the country, or anywhere part of the nation. Other than New York City, we like to do that. It doesn't have to be a full-blown weather forecast. It could be just something simple, like it's sunny where we are. We got so-and-so degrees or something like that. And the reason why we do that, because we like to compare notes on what we're having here in New York and to what you guys are having over there. But for all of you who are watching us from New York and in the vicinity of New York, don't worry about that, because I will take care of the New York City local forecast for you. And that's all coming up later. So we thank you so much for being along. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget that all of the view and the opinions expressed on this show, the Coffee Hour, does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinions of the people of Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Zoom, or any other social media outlet or broadcast facility. And with that being said, let's get started right now and do what we always do. Let's raise our cups, because, ladies and gentlemen, what would the coffee hour be without a little coffee? So, excuse me while I shoot up. That's marvelous. The first jolt of the day, that really hits the spot. And it doesn't have to be coffee if you're not a coffee drinker. It's okay. That doesn't mean you'd be ejected or rejected from the show. It just means that you just don't drink coffee. Maybe it's something else like cocoa, or maybe tea, or something like that, or anything that you want, and But the most important thing is that you're right here with us and being with us. And again, whatever time you can spend with us, if you can't spend the whole hour with us, whatever time you could spend with us would be really appreciative. We really appreciate that. Got things coming up, ladies and gentlemen, and we already know, and I've already said it before, because here we are in February. And as you already know, that February marks Black History Month. So that's what we're celebrating this month. And of course, you know, with Black History Month, you always know that there's a lot of things going along. Maybe something in your area, festivities happen. People go out and celebrate. They go to museums. They go on Google and look up their favorite African-American pioneer and learn more about them. It's a whole big subject of education, and you could do that. So we celebrate it. And if you have anything that you want to talk about Black History Month, that's fine. As a matter of fact, any issue that you want to talk about, just type it in there and we'll see it right there for you. So let's celebrate Black History Month. It's all right here. Also, we're celebrating, I wouldn't like to say it as a celebrating, but we are acknowledging National Cancer Prevention Month. Now, that's a very important month as well as Black History Month. It's very important to understand that that cancer is something that all of us, you know, want to avoid. And those of us who have survived it, we want to make sure that we tell our neighbors and our friends and other people that that we know to get involved in this. As a matter of fact, if you're a survivor like I am, I'm a prostate cancer survivor, 23 years as a matter of fact. I'll give myself a little applause right there. I fought it off, and you can do the same thing too if things occur that way. We want to make sure that everyone is healthy. And I open myself to everyone who want to talk about that subject, if you like to talk about it. But everyone doesn't like to talk about it, especially in the initial stage. You know, everybody wants to keep quiet about it. And that's natural because it happened to me too. Didn't want to talk about it. The only people I spoke about it were my family. And, you know, of course, I did that. And then you talk about it with other people. And a lot of people will ask me, you know, how did you get over it? How do you survive it? There's a lot of ways to survive it. Treatment is better than it was years ago. You know, it was a big killer back in the old days, but treatments are better. And, you know, if you happen to be one of the ones that contract, let's say, prostate cancer, men, you know, and I do this, I say it to men because I'm an advocate for this, because I just want to be proactive about it. And I want you to be proactive too. If you contracted it, there's a lot of things that you can do. There's a lot of places you can go for, let's say, group meetings. That helps a lot. I didn't realize how much it helped until I attended them back when I was diagnosed back then, 23 years ago. But it helps a lot. And of course, you know, you change your diet, you go to your doctor recommend you to specialists that can help you along with that, help you along with your diet. And of course, exercise is very important. And even if you don't attract, it's very important to exercise as well. And for those of you who are clean of it and never had it, no problem with it, thank you. But this is what you should do anyway. If you're at the age of 40 years old, I'm talking to the men at this particular point. If you're at the age of 40 years old, please always go and get checked up. Go to get a urologist, right, which is a specialist, and get checked at the age of 40 years old. Just make sure that everything is same, because what they're monitoring is your PSA level. And if it elevates to a point, I remember in my stage, it got to the point where it elevated to 12. Elevated to 12, which is not good. I'm going to talk more about that right now, but I'm going to bring in Brian Camp a little bit early right now because he has things to do. And we want him to get, you know, his feature out of the way. He's here with the latest developments in today's world of sports, and he's coming on with us from Charlotte, North Carolina. Brian, good morning to you, wherever you are, or yeah, he's from Charlotte, North Carolina. So, I think he's there. There he is right there. Charlotte, North Carolina.
Morning.
Latest developments in today's world of sports. Good morning.
Good morning. Hope all is well out here in the Queen City and everywhere around the world, globally, nationally, locally. It is 53 degrees here in the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina, where I am broadcasting sports for you. Hope all is well on this here. Everybody's going to have a nice long weekend as Monday we celebrate President's Day. So we hope that everybody is doing well. But let me get right to you with sports. Congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs for winning their 4th Super Bowl championship. The 4th. Yes, people think it's 3, but they won back in Super Bowl 4. Super Bowl 4 when it first started out with the Super Bowls with the merger. Patrick Mahomes is Super Bowl MVP. That's his 3rd championship and his 3rd Super Bowl MVP. So, with the Chiefs that defeated the Niners 25-22, it's the longest Super Bowl ever in the history because it went into overtime. So of course it was the most watched also. Estimated 123.4 million viewers across television and streaming platforms. But as the attendance wise at the game, it was only 61,629 people. And that's because, believe it or not, because of COVID. Yeah. So,
I'm confused. You say it's the 4th game, the 4th Super Bowl? I thought it was the 3rd.
No, they won back in 1960. Let me see, 1969 or 1970.
Oh, okay.
And they beat the Minnesota Vikings.
But they did
That
2.
was their first.
They did 2 in a row. They did 2 in a row, though.
They just did 2 in a row, but they also won back in 2020.
Okay.
As well. In 2020 and 2021 season, and back-to-back from 2023 to 2024. That's 4 overall with the organization. But third is the 3rd one with this group of players here with Patrick Mahomes.
Okay. Now I'm up on the game.
Yes. But sad news though, right after was yesterday, Wednesday, they had the parade for the team, and it was a tragic accident. I couldn't call it an accident. It was a dispute right after the parade, and there was a shooting. One person lost their life. A lady named Lisa Lopez Galvin she died at the scene. She was a 43-year-old mother and a beloved local DJ as well too. So, come on, we got to do better. We can't even go to a parade without a mass shooting and everything. It was a dispute. So I don't know what they're going to call it now. They're still doing the investigation, and we will know something hopefully soon. In the NBA, the 73rd NBA All-Star Game is coming up this weekend in Indianapolis. Entertainers Jennifer Hudson, Babyface, and Charlotte Cardinal will head the headline as the East and West teams meet for the All-Star Game that will be on TNT on Sunday. Major League Baseball, the Wichita Police Department has made an arrest for the stolen statue of the Jackie Robinson from a park, and it was found dismantled days later. Ricky Alderete was 45 years old, was charged with a felony. It was worth $25,000. That's how much that statue was worth. It was he's being charged for felony theft, aggravated criminal damage to the property, identity of theft, and making false information. So the investigation has now revealed that any evidence indicated that this was a hate crime, which I think it is. But some say in the investigation that it was motivated by financial gain. So that's where we at. This day in sports, February 16th, Ted Williams safely lands his Panther jet, later awarded the Air Medal. He did survive it. Now Ted Williams, a former baseball great, who also served in World War II and the Korean War. 1963, North Carolina, Billy Cunningham grabs a record 27 rebounds in a game versus Clemson. 1972, Wilt Chamberlain becomes the first player in NBA history to score 30,000 points. 1992, the LA Lakers retire Magic Johnson's number 32. That's his uniform number. His number is in the rafters, and they got a statue out in front of the arena. Birthdays: 1953, George Martin, NFL defensive end for the New York Giants, born in Greenville, South Carolina. Once I finish this broadcast, those kids are going to get it. Those kids are going to get it. Excuse the noise. Excuse the noise. 1958, Herb Williams, NBA center for the New York Knicks, was born in Columbus, Ohio. 1959, John McEnroe, tennis great, was born, I didn't know this, was born in Wiesbaden, Germany. But he grew up in Douglastown, New York, which is out there in Long Island. 1964, happy birthday to Mark Price, NBA guard for the Cleveland Cavaliers, was born in Bottsville, Oklahoma. And happy birthday to Jerome Bettis, NFL running back, Hall of Famer for the Pittsburgh Steelers, was born in Detroit, Michigan. Black history. I got some Black history for you. We are celebrating Black history. Art Shell, in 1989, became the first African-American coach for the Raiders. Tony Dungy made history, becoming the first African-American coach to win a Super Bowl in 2006. Kenny Washington breaks the NFL color barrier in 1946. Willie Thrower, a thrower, is the first Black quarterback. The name fits him. That was in 1953. Burl Tola, first African-American official from 1965 to 1989. Then Johnny Greer is the first National Football League referee. The referee oversees all the other officials because they have a team of officials, but the referee is the one that's in charge of all the officials. Franco Harris, first African-American to ever win the Super Bowl MVP in 1975. Doug Williams, first African-American quarterback to win a Super Bowl in 1987. Ozzie Newsome, first African-American to ever become a general manager for the Baltimore Ravens in 2002. And 2023, Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes is the first African-American quarterback duo to face off against one another in the year 2023. And ladies and gentlemen, that is sports.
Well, I know you got to get back. You want to take it. Have mercy on those kids, though.
Yeah, they just want me to come and play a little ball with them. So that's what I do. But seriously, all joking aside, we need to do better as a nation. I love this nation, but we have to do better. I mean, this is ridiculous, a shooting. And what's going on in Atlanta with this trial. I don't want to even mention what's going on, but they're trying to put the person that's bringing forth this allegations on the former president, but yet they're trying to put her on trial.
Yeah.
Why you put her on trial?
Yeah.
She didn't steal an election, so she's trying to find out everything.
Yeah.
She's trying to find out what is going on, but because she's had a relationship. I'm not going to say affair. She had a relationship with somebody. That's her personal business. Mm-hmm. What goes on between two people, that's their business. It has nothing to do about what she's trying to sort out of the stolen of an election. So, I love America, but America has not always been on the right side of everything. I'm going to say that again. America has not always done the right thing by other people and other countries. Yeah. I'm a proud American, but yes, we got to do better as a nation.
Yeah, I believe we will, and at some point, it's just that we got to get rid of the garbage. You know the old saying: when the garbage stinks, you got to throw it out.
Yeah.
And so it's stinking to high hell. So we've got to get this, and there's a lot of it. There's a lot of it, particularly in Washington, D.C. You got to get rid of it. You got to do it in shovels. They got it like in shovels. You got to shovel it out of there and rebuild. We have to rebuild.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Talk about infrastructure. That's part of the action too. Yeah.
That's right.
Well, look, I'm not going to hold you too long. Let you.
Okay.
And
Well, is there anybody out there that I know? I can't see anybody. Who's out there?
oh, okay, you can't see anyone. Well, Mary is there.
Hi,
Mary
Mary.
said good morning to you when you came in, and she's out there. Let's see who else. That's all I see at this particular point.
Okay.
Someone else will pop in and and check you out. But if they have any,
Okay.
we can always get those questions to you at a later date. But I know you got to leave. But we'll catch you back here on next week, on this, particularly on the Talk Back Live show starting next week.
Yes, I want everybody to have a safe weekend holiday. We're gonna celebrate our past presidents.
Yeah.
Whether we like them or not, they did hold the office. We still got to respect the office
Yeah.
as president, even though we didn't care for them. But we have to respect the office. I wish everybody a safe weekend. Enjoy.
And by the way, before
Yes.
I go, what's happening with the smoker this weekend? Is there?
I'm still waiting for a part. Now I'm getting a little anxious because I got to start smoking within a couple of weeks. So I'm going to make some calls. They're going to have to feel my wrath. Like, let's get this ASAP. I need to start smoking some meat. Weather's getting warm out here in North Carolina, so we got to still go with the crock pot, in the oven.
But is this the new smoker that you're supposed to be getting, or?
Oh yeah, that's what I'm waiting for the part to come.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah,
it'll be there by and by.
Okay.
Okay. I'll talk to you later. Take care. Have a good weekend. That was Brian Camp, ladies and gentlemen, with the latest developments in today's world of sports. And just to clear up a few things, when I say the smoker, he cooks. So he has a smoker, a meat smoker in his backyard. You ought to go to his, well, I can't say you ought to go to his house, but at his house, he's got a huge backyard. He has his man cave up there. It's huge with all the sports memorabilia and all of those things, photos of everyone. It's a marvelous area where he lives. And he enjoys it. He used to be a New Yorker, just like the rest of us. He used to be a New Yorker, but he chose to go out there. Him and his wife chose to go out there. Once he retired here in New York, they chose to go out there, which is it's a lovely place. Charlotte, North Carolina is a nice place. It's a very nice place. Nice place to visit. And of course, I'm planning on going back to visit there, sometime soon, I don't know. There's a lot of places I want to go back and visit. And I just didn't get a chance to do it. And one of the places I have to go back that I haven't been to in a long time is Las Vegas. I mean, that's my town. Las Vegas is basically my home away from home. I mean, I've gone there so many times. I mean, I know that town like the back of my hand. And let's see, Mary says she got family out there, nieces out there in North Carolina. So everybody's going there. She's from North Carolina. Exactly from North Carolina. What part of North Carolina are you from, Mary? Let us know. But Las Vegas, that's a place I visit frequently, but I haven't been there in a full 9 years. I was told 9 years. 9 years. I haven't been out there. And I think it's time for me to go back. And right through the pandemic, I'm pretty sure it changed a lot out there, just like a lot of places. Like no place you can go, ever since this pandemic came around, it changed everything. So there's not a place that you can go in the world and say, well, that place is exactly the way it was. No. It may be built differently. The changes come about. But the atmosphere and I guess, I don't know. I'm not going to say it's not fun anymore, but people are not doing a lot of traveling as they did before. Oh, well, maybe I should take that back. People are traveling because of the pandemic is over now. They want to travel and just get back to their lives, and that's a good thing to do. But it changes, whether it's good or it's bad, whether the change is good or bad, everything changes. And I'm pretty sure Las Vegas, they have a lot of changes too. It's not like the place that if you've been there before the pandemic and you go back after pandemic, you might find a different kind of Las Vegas. It may be even better than what it was, or maybe even, I don't know. That's why I have to go back and check it out. I have to go back and check it out. And so, don't scratch traveling off your list. Never scratch traveling off your bucket list. As a matter of fact, this is a good time to travel now. A lot of people are traveling now. There was a time where I said, you know something, even the airlines at the particular time, remember when the airlines, they were so crowded, and all of the pilots and the air traffic controllers went on strike. Remember that? And when that happens, that's why I don't want this government shutdown, because the government shutdown affects the air traffic controllers, because that's government, those are government jobs. And once that happens, once they close down the government, a lot of things start to change, and it's hard to travel around. And these things affect all of us. It just doesn't affect certain people. It affects all of us. Everybody, whatever happens in this country, it affects all of us. And no one is immune to whatever happens. You get affected, I get affected, we all get affected. And so, as Mary says, keep the faith, baby, and still travel. That's what it's all about. Keep the faith and still travel. And I'm gonna do a lot of. There's a lot of places I want to go, particularly out of the country. There's a lot of places. I remember before the pandemic came about, and I said this a couple of times on the show before the pandemic came about. I was all set. And I had my money set, everything was there, everything was all in place, everything was ready to go, flights ready, everything was ready. And I was supposed to go off to Italy, I was supposed to go off to France, and I had to cancel all of that when the pandemic came around. And because at that time, the time that I was supposed to go to Italy, Italy was like the worst place to be when the pandemic went on. They were hit hard. But we look back at these things as we say, wow, it's nothing, it was nothing to laugh at, because you got to remember where we were all like confined. It was like we were in a concentration camp, confined to your house, couldn't go out. If you went out, you had to go out for a good reason. They even had, in certain places, they had curfews. I don't know if you knew that. In certain places they had curfews, and you couldn't be out at a certain time. Luckily, they didn't do that in New York. We didn't have curfews here. They wouldn't even dare try that here in New York. But it happened. Those things happen. Do I speak Italian, Mary? Yeah, I do. Especially when I get angry, if you know what I mean. I can speak Italian good when I get angry. But I did make it to the Bahamas. I had a chance, and that was before the pandemic. And I got to tell you, the Bahamas, I loved it there. I loved it there. Do you know that you can eat dirt cheap in the Bahamas? I didn't even know that. When I went to the Bahamas, I picked up a few things, to take back home, and I hardly spent anything, there. Everything was like dirt cheap. So now when I said, something, every time I do grocery shopping, I'm going to fly out to Bahamas and then bring it back here. But then again, I'm spending money for the flights and everything else. So, wishful thinking, some people have it made in the shade, but what can I tell you? I don't speak French, Mary. I don't speak French. But something, I'll tell you, the essential language in this country, as we all know, is Spanish. That's the essential language. And something, I had plenty of opportunities, and it's still not too late, because as long as you're alive, you can still do whatever you want to do. But when I was coming through high school, junior high school and high school, I had the opportunity to take Spanish, but I didn't think at that particular time there was a need for me to take Spanish. And then when I got to college, my main focus was speaking Swahili, which is not a central language in this country, but it's a good language to know. I wanted to take Swahili. And but now that I know that Spanish is an essential language in this country, everybody's speaking it, everybody's except me. I have a nephew that visits the Dominican Republic all the time, and he comes back and he speaks fluent Spanish, And the way I do it is that I go on to these. You ever see these websites that have the the languages, the different languages, translators, right? And I do it through that. I do it through that. And when I have the time, I sit home, go on my computer, and I go to the translator website and type in, let's say, something in English. And then I translate it over to whatever language I want. And I learn that way. So yeah, it's always good to learn another language. But French, no, I don't speak French. You know, bad French, I might speak bad French, but not the Okay, ladies and gentlemen, just in case you're just joining us, the name of the show is called The Coffee Hour. And of course, I want you guys, if you're going to speak with us or be part of us, particularly if you're out of this country or out of the far from New York or whatever, give us your weather forecast. We would like to compare notes because that's what we do each week. It's not something that you have to do or it's mandatory because we won't kick you out. But we would love to do that. And we like to do that to compare notes. And so with that being said, if you are a resident of New York or in the vicinity of New York City, don't worry about it. I will take care of that for you right now, the weather forecast. And so that means you dodged a bullet. But for the rest of you, do that. Give us it doesn't have to be a full-blown weather forecast. It could be something like really simple, sunny skies, 35 degrees or whatever it is. You can do that. That would be great. Okay, we got a long weekend and the weather forecast looks like this. I'm going to give you mine right now. And let's start with it right now. We got plenty of sunshine out right now, but it gets a little on the downsurge a little bit as it goes along, but not too bad. But and it goes like this: it's going to be sunny, sunshine all day today, and a few afternoon clouds will prevail. We'll have a high around 43 degrees. Winds will be west northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. It's going to be cloudy for tonight with periods of snow after midnight. We'll have a low 31 degrees. Winds will be north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of snow 80%. That's a big percentage. And snow accumulations will be 1 to 3 inches. Now, I would assume that the outer boroughs like Brooklyn and Staten Island and Queens, they'll get the bulk of the snow. New York, Manhattan never really does, for the simple reason they have that underground heating, and they want to keep traffic flowing in New York because New York, of course, especially Manhattan, it's very congested and they want to keep traffic going. So they want to make sure that the snow plows come out early. I wish they would do it for all the boroughs, but we have tall buildings in Manhattan, so we get less snow than the rest of the boroughs do. Anyway, we get that 1 to 3 inches in certain places in Long Island and New Jersey. I'm pretty sure they'll get more, but we had a big snowstorm and that just like took everybody away. Here's the weather forecast for Saturday. We've got mostly cloudy skies, snow showers developing, snow showers and a little drift, and that'll happen in the morning. We'll have a high around 39 degrees. Winds will be northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of snow right down to 40%. And for Saturday night, a few clouds developing. We'll have a low 26. There's no snow or rain in the forecast at this particular point. Winds will be west-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And for Sunday, you want to pick up, you want to go to church. You don't have to worry about a thing because it's going to be sunshine and clouds mixed together. No rain in the forecast, no snow in the forecast. We'll have a high near 40 degrees. Winds will be southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. For Sunday night, clear, low 32, winds west at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And being that this is a long holiday weekend for your Monday, if you're worried about it, outdoor activities, well, we've got sunny skies prevailing. High 43, winds will be northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And we've got 39 degrees presently in our town. So there you have it. That's our weather forecast for those of you who care. And those of you who are in New York, that's our weather forecast to you. And for the rest of you, if you want to join in, please do the freedom. Hello to Carolyn. Carolyn Daly, she's out there. Hello to you, Carolyn. Nice to see you. Nice to have you aboard with us. And Carolyn lives in Newport Newport News. Newport News. I'm not sure where that is. I live in Newport News. I'm not sure what Newport News is or where that is. But anyway, wherever she is, it's 47 degrees out there at this particular point, but she's in Brooklyn. Okay, so I'm assuming that she lives, that's in Virginia. Newport, I never heard of that area. I know most of Virginia. I know, certain parts of Virginia, but I never heard of, is that a small town in Virginia? But it's Newport News, Virginia. It's 47 degrees there, and but she's in Brooklyn now. And so maybe she's living in Brooklyn, I guess. Yeah. She's living in Newport, but she's visiting Brooklyn. Welcome to New York. New York, New York. We roll out the red carpet to you, Carolyn. Good to see you. Good to hear from you. And where the rest of you guys, you may be someplace else. You're joining us. Give us your weather forecast. If you're outside of New York City, I already took care of New York weather forecast for you. So that seems to be everything A-okay with that. Okay. Do you know this is a National Almond Day? Did you know that? It's National Almond Day. We already talked about the Black History Month. We already know that. That's taken care of, and that's going to be here for the rest of the month. And National Cancer Prevention Month. But today is National Almond Day. So, ladies and gentlemen, would you like to indulge? I have plenty of. They're healthy. Fiber. That's These are dry. These are the dry ones. No salt added, but they're good. Very good. So it's National Almond Day. Go out and get yourself a bag and celebrate with me. Get enough to feed the family, because you have that long holiday weekend coming up, right? And of course, you want to make sure they're healthy. These are good. All right, enough of that. I have my fill of that. I don't want to make anyone out there hungry, but they're really good. I'll come back and get some more a little later, and maybe down it with a little coffee, huh? That should do the trick for what right now. I'll get some more of those. I'll get back to that later. Anyway, we've got also what I want to talk about too. This is part of the. Sorry, folks, I had to take a little break with that. All right, here's a little news that I wanted to get out there. Alexei Navalny, you heard about him. He's the longest Russian opposition politician and critic of Vladimir Putin. You heard about the situation this morning. It was breaking news this morning. And he's often considered to be the vocal and prominent thorn in the side of Russian government. He passed away. He died today. Today, at the age of 47 years old. And of course, allegedly, they're blaming Vladimir Putin for the killing. They say he was doing fine just yesterday. He was doing very well yesterday. And his wife stated that he was doing very well. And then all of a sudden, he dies. And he was poisoned. He was in prison when this happened. And of course, we already know the history of Vladimir Putin. If you're not on the side of him, if you disagree with him, that's why we have a guy that wants to be president of the United States who wants to follow that same example. I don't see it happening. I'm not worried. And I encourage everyone out there, you can be concerned about this country. We're all concerned about this country, but never worry. And the reason why I don't worry, I can't speak for all of you guys, but I believe there's a God in heaven, and I believe that he's going to come in his own time, and he's going to take care of the situation. Because if you're going to weigh the scale, I don't want to see anyone hurt. I don't want to hear about death. I don't want to hear any. But if you're going to weigh the scale, people of the United States versus one man, that's where I stand. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to leave it at that because I want the rest of us to live, you know. So we're going to see what happens. That's why I always urge you guys, when you get out there and it's time to vote, which is going to happen in November. I believe the date is November 5th. I believe that's the date. I don't have the calendar with me, but if you look at the calendar, I think that would be the date of Election Day of 2024, November 5th. That's going to tell the whole story. And being the person that I am, believing I'm a happy-go-lucky guy. I love America. I love the people here. And I just love people. And that's why I say the scale balances. The people versus this one crazy loony guy. I'd rather see this guy gone. And, you know, Malcolm X, if he were here, he would probably say by any means necessary. But I digress. Anyway, that's the story right there for that. And we talked about a lot of things last night on the show, Talk Back Live. Not that in particular, because this news just particularly broke. But we talked about also the parade in Kansas City. Now, we already know that the Super Bowl is over. It was played in Las Vegas. Keep mentioning Las Vegas. I love that town. It was played in Las Vegas, but all of the Kansas City Chiefs decided that we're going to do a parade, which is very nice, and go back and enjoy that. Excuse me. And so they go to the parade, and then what do you get? You get this mass shooting, which of course, you know, bothered me because parades, excuse me, guys. Parades are meant to be enjoyed. You're going out on the town, it's meant to be enjoyed. It's a gift to enjoy yourself, life, enjoy yourself. You don't have to look in the back over your shoulders. You don't want that. That's not the way it goes. It's not the way it's supposed to be. This is embarrassing. Excuse me, guys. It's not the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be everyone go out, and I mentioned last night on the show, people who go out in the town, whether or not they have nightclubs that they used to have, because my upcoming, as a kid growing up, we went to what they call the disco, or a discotheque. We had that back in time. A lot of you who are my age, or maybe just a little bit younger, or maybe a little bit older, remember those days. You were there, and it was safe. We had a good time. And the only problem that you had, some of you were wondering how you got back home the way you did, if you know what I mean. But nevertheless, we did have fun, didn't hurt anyone. And when you got home the following day, you had something to talk about. Today, it's totally different. And so we just take everything in stride. And because when you think all of this thing is over, when you think it's all over, something else materialized. And now you have these mass shootings. Keep our prayers open. And again, remember, use your vote wisely when November 5th comes around. And I'm going to say that every week until it penetrates. Okay, in entertainment, here's what we have in entertainment news today. It's official. The next installment of Beyonce's Renaissance is coming, and she's taking a turn to country music. And after months of teasing a follow-up in her album Renaissance, Beyonce indicated new music was coming in her 2024 Super Bowl ad for Verizon. In the ad, as part of an effort to crash Verizon's service, Beyonce enacted a variety of publicity stunts, eventually challenging herself to be the first artist to perform in space. That's nice, but nothing can stop the stable service, though. A country's music legend and a Latin pop superstar are teaming up for an unexpected but very exciting collaboration On Monday, Miranda Lambert and Enrique Iglesias revealed they're set to release a debut or a duet titled Space in My Heart. And that's the film, the hitmakers share of they shared this music and this information on social media. That is upcoming track for the duet is due to come out on February 22nd, right? That's next Friday, as a matter of fact. And Lambert and Iglesias announced the project and its release date by posting a snippet of the unreleased song and a single artwork on Instagram. Tyler Perry is expanding his deal with Netflix, adding TV series to the mix. Netflix announced Monday that it had added a multi-year first look series pack with Perry to previous features on his film packed to seal in October with the streamer. As part of the expanded relationship with Netflix, Perry is developing 16 episodes, 1.5 hour long drama entitled Beauty in Black, which he will write, direct, and executive produce. And while we're on the subject of Perry, here's another Perry, but a different Perry, not related Perry, but Katy Perry is leaving American Idol. The singer and Idol judge announced her exit from the show after 7 seasons on the Jimmy Kimmel show, Jimmy Kimmel Live, on Monday, as she teased has more projects, including new music, to come later in 2024. Neil Young and Crazy Horse will make a national road trip for the first time in decades in the spring, making good on their plans that were being laid for the band to hit the road during the pandemic before the pandemic interrupted them and interrupted the reunion. The 16-date tour begins with 2 nights in San Diego, April 24th, and wraps up to April 24th and 25th, and wraps up May 23rd in Chicago. The tour will come on the heels of release of new Neil Young and Crazy album, which will be a limited edition on vinyl. That's never happened in a long time. So we get that vinyl record, and the album is said to consist of songs from the band's past, newly recorded in 2023. Birthdays today. Ice-T is 66 years old. Actor LeVar Burton is 67 years old. Model and TV personality Janice Dickinson is 69 years old. The following people are no longer with us, but would have been celebrating birthdays today, including R&B singer James Ingram, who would have been 72. Sonny Bono of Sonny and Cher would have been 89. Singer-songwriter Otis Blackwell, who, by the way, Otis Blackwell was the one who wrote most of Elvis Presley's hits back in the day. He would have been 93 years old. Actress Vera Ellen would have been 103 years old. Patty Andrews of the Andrews Sisters would have been 106 years old. Jazz and blues artist Bill Doggett, remember his big hit from the 1950s, Honky Tonk? Well, he would have been 108 years old. Actor Jeffrey Lynn would have been 115, and actor Hugh Beaumont from Leave It to Beaver would have been 115 as well. And that's what's taking place in the world of entertainment. And happy birthday to all of you who may be celebrating birthdays today or tomorrow or sometime during the weekend. We want to say happy birthday to you. And if you're having a birthday coming up anytime soon, you'd like to get in touch with me, I don't mind. As a matter of fact, I do encourage you. I have 3 places that you can contact me. And 3 sources, as a matter of fact. And the first source is the email address. I'll give you that email address first. That email address is frankallenprod@aol.com. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. Can you spell Allan, A-L-L-A-N? You know, there's a variety of ways of spelling that, but if you spell it wrong, of course, the email will bounce back to you that it doesn't exist, all right, because you spelled it wrong. It's A-L-L-A-N. Prod is P-R-O-D, that's short for productions. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. Or you can call me at 641-715-3900, extension 467134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. When you get in touch with me, you could state when your birthday is coming up. We could announce it right here on the show. If other things that you want to talk about that you want to elaborate on or address, for instance, if you want to talk about the show or elaborate on the show or critique the show, which we don't mind. As a matter of fact, it helps us out a lot. Whatever you have to say, as long as you're diplomatic about it, we don't mind. And if there's a guest that you would like to see on the show, of course, we can try to oblige that. But anything that can be an improvement, or you want to get rid of the host of the show, see what happens. Can't guarantee you that. But we'll help you out the best way we can. Okay. So keep all of that information with you. Keep it in your Rolodex. Some of you guys are still behind the times. You still have Rolodex, right? I still have mine, but it's a doorstop. Or keep it in your phone. Everything is in the phone now, right? Keep all of that information with you and use it anytime you like. It's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We never sleep, only but nights. I sleep at night. But get that information out there. I get it out there to you. Again, that email address is frankallenprod@aol.com. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. The telephone number is 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. Mary, you are leaving us. She's wishing me have an awesome weekend. Much love. I mean, she's leaving. She's leaving me. Okay. Listen, thank you for the time anyway. Thank you for whatever time that you have for me. And we look forward to seeing you back here next week, hopefully, right? Okay, thank you for that time. I really appreciate that. What I'm going to do now, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm going to get started with the movies. Those movies you like so much, okay, they're all Turner Classic Movies, and I picked these myself because a lot of you know that the weekend is coming up. It's a long weekend. It's President's Day weekend. And one of the things that you may want to do on the weekend is watch movies that you haven't seen in a long time. So I have a few right now that I'm going to convey to you right now that you may want to watch, right? And they go to your bucket list. So let's get started with it right now. First of all, going back to 1942, one of my favorite kind of movies is the sports movies. The Pride of the Yankees, starring Gary Cooper, Teresa Wright, and Walter Brennan. That's on Turner Classic Movies. You can catch that Friday at 10:15 p.m. If you're in Friday mode, that's tonight at 10:15 p.m. Eastern. I give all of my time Eastern so you can act accordingly in your time zone. Raging Bull from 1980 with Robert De Niro and Kathy Moranti, along with Joe Pesci. That's on Turner Classic Movies. You can catch that Friday at 12:30 a.m. That's midnight, Friday night, Saturday morning. That's 12:30 a.m. Eastern. If you care to DVR it, that would be great. And you can watch it at your own convenience. If you want to stay up that late, watch it later. DVR these movies, all of them. Cool Hand Luke from 1967, Paul Newman, George Kennedy, and J.D. Cannon. That's Turner Classic Movies. And that's on Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern. And also back in 1967, you have The Dirty Dozen with Lee Marvin, Ernest Borgnine, Charles Bronson, and Jim Brown. They're all right there. That's Turner Classic Movies. That's on Sunday at 5:15 p.m. Again, if you don't get a chance to watch them all in real time, watch them at your very own convenience, and you can do that by DVRing these movies and watch them later. Go on Turner Classic Movies and go to the program guide, because there may be other movies that I didn't mention, but these are my picks of the week, and you might see something that may tickle your fancy, and you can watch it there too, and then maybe record it as well and watch them later on. But they're great movies. There's a lot, and if you're going on demand, there's free movies. There's, of course, pay-per-view movies that are in the movies studios right now, and then movies that were once there for a short time, but you can catch them all. The children's programs and documentaries and sporting events. It's all right there. So get a chance to do that, and it's all happening this weekend. I gotta go. And I'm going to leave you, but I am going to come back on Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern for Talk Back Live. Brian Camp will be with me, and he'll have the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. I hope you can make it then. Make it then, and then make it next week, next Saturday, next Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern for more of the Coffee Hour. Brian Camp again will be here with me with sports. Hope you will be here too. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, have a great day and a great long President holiday weekend. We'll see you soon. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
You've been watching the Coffee Hour with your host Frank Allan. The producer has been Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stenke. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the Coffee Hour.